Hi there, welcome back. So, today is the big day when you would be setting up Java on your system, as in how the environment for the Java, if I talk in raw language, the software for Java, and you will be able to create your first Java program. So I've divided this section into two parts. The first one being for a Windows user, second one being for a Mac user. So you will find a separate video for Mac or Linux user, another video in the series in the channel that I have. So in case you're a Mac user, you can definitely skip this video and go directly to your Mac installation for Java. So before I continue, I just wanted to show you what the class resource is, what we discussed in the previous video. So if you open the link that is given in the description section, it will lead you to a page like this. So this is where I've compiled all the resources that you would need. Now, I don't know at what stage you are watching this video, maybe let's say 2 years down the line. So right now it is developed till here. So I'm sure by the end of other time you may find you may find a lot of other entries here also. But as on date, I've reached only till here, and it will evolve as an forward when we go forward. So let's start. So first one, see here is something called as a notes link. Here I'll be providing you with the notes for the class. So right now, again, at this point of time, this is empty. But of course, I'm sure when you open it later and sometime in the future, you will see lot many items here. It's saved on the Google Drive. Second one being the JDK download link. Now, what is JDK? Don't worry about it. It's basically Java Development Kit. What is that? We'll discuss that in detail. But this is where you would get the download for the Java. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here and click it on open in link in new tab. That is because I didn't want you to open your have your browser with so many links, because if I click directly, this is going to reimpose here on this particular section. So that is why you can actually to open it in a new tab, you can do a right click and do open link in a new tab. So now I have the nodes and the Java here, the JDK page here open. Now the first step. Now how would you know if Java is installed on your system or not? To check if Java is installed. So for Windows user, go to start, which is here, start. Then type there CMD, press enter and type Java space minus minus. There's actually two minuses, so I'll just spread it a sign, version. So when you do that, it is going to tell you, whether you have Java installed on your system or not. So for Mac user, this is going to be open terminal, type Java space minus minus version. Just to remind you, no spaces involved here. I did the space thing because uh, it was showing as some double line kind of a thing if the font is small. So you're a Windows user, I'll go to start, I'll type CMD and it automatically goes to the command prompt. If you see here, I'll just press enter and this is what opens for me. So when I do Java space minus minus version, I get an error message like this: Java is not recognized as an internal or external command. So basically, if you see this message, you don't have Java installed on your system. If you see the version of Java, that means you don't have to do anything. You can skip the entire thing and move on to the first assignment. But anyways, let's start. So I'll just close this window, very important. Now I'll go here to the JDK download link. If you see here, now you will see many Java 20, Java 17, 8 and 11 and so on. So for this course, any level above Java 11 or Java 11 would be perfectly fine. You don't have to worry much about it. So I would say if you have a Java version of 11 or more, so I'll just mention this here. For this course, you would need Java 11 or above. Anything above Java 11 and Java 11 is perfectly fine. So let's say you decide to go ahead with something like a 20 or 17, perfectly fine. 17 is LTS. What is LTS? We'll see long term support. So let's say you go to Java JDK 20 here. I went with Java 17 and you have to choose Windows here. So for both JDK 20 and JDK 17, you have to choose your OS. So I'll mention it here on JDK page. Choose your OS. OS stands for operating system, which is basically Windows or Mac or Linux. So you are a Windows user, so you will go to Windows and you will select the x64 installer. Do you see this here? So I have selected 17 for me. 20 is also fine. Both have the same details. If you see here, just make sure you are selecting the right OS. So you have to choose the x64 installer. So for Windows user, select x64 installer. Now it's a huge file, so I have downloaded one already for you. So if you see, I've already downloaded the executable file, which is the x64 installer for 17. So when I click on this, so once you click on that particular link, it is going to open this installer for you. Just click on next. Now make sure you see the path it is saving to. So for me, it is C drive, program files, Java, JDK 17. Now that is perfectly fine. Any path that you do, all you have to do is remember it. So how would you do that? You can just make sure you remember where the path is. Maybe note it down somewhere. But the reason I'll just come to in a bit why you would need that. So once I click on next, it is going to install Java at this place. So I'll just cancel this installation for the reason being that for my system I already have Java installed. So for example, if I go here and go to C drive, program files, Java, and I have a Java JDK 17 installed. Can you see that? Now, so the important question is if my Java is installed. Now, if you're using the installer, the moment you open a new command prompt, like this new CMD prompt here, and you do Java version, it should show directly the Java version that is 17.0.2 on your system. But why it is not happening for me? I'll tell you why, because I've made some changes so that you can see this error. But in case you also see this error, don't worry. There's a very simple step to solve this particular error. Basically, what this error means is you have Java installed, nobody's doubting that, but the system doesn't know where is Java. So you have to tell the system that any command of Java that you give, it needs to look at a particular place. So where is that place? So that is called as path. So I'll mention the path here. In case of error still, you will have to set the path for system to recognize Java. So how would you do that? In Windows, Go to start, then select there in some called as path and open environment variables. So what it simply means, again, if you are using the installer, you should never see this particular error. This error is only because if you use something like archive here, download it and set up on your system, and system doesn't recognize. But in case you are still getting the error, you should know how to set the path. So the path is start, type path here, and it would give you something like the edit the system environment variables. So once you have opened the system environment variables, go to environment variables. So I'll just select this and mention this here too. Now once you go on the environment variables, you see two paths on the thing here. One is on the top and one is at the bottom. This is for the local machine, as in local user, and this is for the entire user. So we will go to the entire user. So I'll just mention here from bottom section, that is system variables. Now once you do that, and if I click on path here and I click on edit, this is going to open the entire path that is there on my system. You will also see some path on your system. So this is where I have to tell the Windows boss, please look at the Java in this particular folder. So which is the folder that I'm going to use? I'll just mention. So I'll open the folder where my Java is located. That is why I told you it's very important to know where Java is located. Go to the bin folder. Do you see the bin folder? So select bin folder from JDK and copy its path. Now it's very important and easy to know how to get the path of a folder. You see this item here on top, just click on the empty space here. So if I click once, you would see I'll get the path directly here. So I can do a right click and copy, or as a programmer, what I'm going to do, copy any text. I'm sure you know this, but still for people who don't know, press Control plus C. So Control plus C is the shortcut for copying. So I'll just copy this path. So I'll click to the empty space, do a Control C. It is copied. Now I'll go back to my path, click on new and paste it. Now how do I paste it? Click on new and paste the path. How would you paste it? Using Control plus V, which I'm sure you know, but for people who don't know, this is a good start. So Control plus V. So once I've done that, so here I'm telling the system boss, if anything with the Java comes, go to program files, Java, JDK, and the bin folder, and it is going to work for me. Okay, so once you have closed the CMD, the CMD window, make sure you click OK here, you click OK here, you click OK here, and you're all good to go. So now if I type CMD and I do Java space minus minus version, I should get the Java version on my system, that is Java 17.0.2, which I told you, and you are good to go. So please follow this. It's very relatively simple. Again, if you're using an installer, it should automatically set the path for you. But in case you feel or get any error, you can do this for setting up the path. So now that you have Java installed on your system, maybe it's time to go ahead and give you your first first program of, Hello World. So what is that Hello World? I'll just tell you. Basically, what we are going to do is, if you click on this code file link, I have given you a set of program. I've given you a program which will basically say, "Hello world, I am starting Java." So basically, you are telling the system, boss, please print this for me. This line say, "Hello world, I am starting Java." So how would you do that? Very simple. So I'll just mention in the notes here. First Java program. Start. Go to start. Type notepad there, and then write the code given in first program. Now, what I'm going to do is, so let's say I'll first create a folder here. So, for example, if I go here on the screen, I'll do a right click, create a new folder. I'll call it Java Coffee to Code. And here inside this folder, I'll do a right click and do a new text document, or I can go to start and type notepad and the same thing, but I will just show how it works. So basically what I'll do is I'll write down the code that is there in the first program. Now it's very easy to copy paste this code, but I would want you to please make sure that you type it for the first time, because there is a reason this code is there. So I'll make it larger for you in case things don't make much sense. So I'll just type it down here. So I'll say class. I'll just see what I've written. Class hello world. Then this is the bracket. Now this bracket you would find above maybe comma on your keyboard. So go there down, write this down, public static void main. Now please be very clear, you have no clue what this is all about. You just know writing this mantra is going to print hello world, I'm starting Java on your system. So let's just do that. So I'll just do this. I'll write down system dot out dot println bracket. Now this is a square bracket. Please make sure you know this. This is basically below this one on your keyboard. So please make sure you do that. And I'll say hello world. I am learning Java. And this end hour of ours is called as semicolon. This is next to L on your keyboard. Next to L on your keyboard, please have a look. This is called a semicolon. It's not a colon. This is colon. We don't want colon. We want semicolon. A dot and a comma. Now I'll just simply close all the brackets. So this bracket is for this one, and this bracket for this one. Now, once you have written the code, we need to save it. So, how would you save it? I'll just write it down here. Go to save as, select folder where you want to save it, and save it as whatever the class name is. Now, what is the class and all? Don't worry. So, in our case, the class name is Hello World. So, this has to be absolutely same like this Hello World. Very important. So, you have Hello World dot Java. So, you have to save it as Hello World dot Java. I'll also mention it down here. Class name dot and the Java. So hello world dot java. So I'll go here, file, save as, go to desktop, Java coffee to code, and I'll just select this and write down hello world dot java. See that? So once I click on save and close it, this file is here on the system. Now you will see it does not show as a text file, it shows as a Java file here. This is very important that you have not messed up things so far and it is showing as a Java file. If you fall into any error, just delete this file, start again, look at the video, and you should get the answer. So once you have reached this hello world.java, the next step is tell system to run it. Now, how would you run this? How would you run this? So, open CMD again. Go to the folder there. Now, there where okay, it's not there where my bad. Go to the folder where file is saved. Now, if I go to this particular folder and I do okay, let's see if I can open it with the terminal or not. No, yeah, that's on MacBook. My bad. So I'll go to the folder. Now, where is the folder? If you look at the path here, this is located at desktop, and desktop the file is Java Coffee to Code. Now, how would you change it? Change folder. You have to use the word cd, which is basically means change directory, and the folder name. So in my case it is cd desktop, and then I have to do a cd coffee to code. I'll just see if it works. Wait, let me see if the path name is right. Okay, it's Java coffee to code. So I'll just correct it down here. The moment I do cd space desktop, you will see this changing to desktop here. Now on desktop, I have the file called as Java Coffee to Code, and it changes down to Java Coffee to Code, the folder where I am. So this is the folder where I have the file. I'll just show it to you. We have hello world.java. Now to run the file, type Java C space whatever the file name dot java is. So in our case it is java c hello world dot java. So I'll come here and I type java c space hello world dot java. Once I press enter, it is going to take some seconds and you will see the next command line. But if you go to the folder there, you would find two files now. One is the original Java file that you wrote, second one being the class file. Don't worry anything about it. And if it is too much for you right now, don't worry. People don't program like this anymore. I'm just trying to derive a concept, how things work, and so on before we move to the more sophisticated thing. But this is the basic, at least you should know how the file thing runs. So basically, when you do Java C hello world or Java, you are telling the system boss, please get it ready for me to run. So once you have done that, you will find two files here. In case you don't get this and you get some error. So for example, I'll again open the file and let's say you have messed up something. Now Java is case sensitive. Case sensitive means where there is small you have to keep small, where there is capital you have to keep capital, and so on and so forth. So if I write down here, Java is case sensitive, so please make sure to copy the code exactly like it is. So I will just let's say I do a change. For example, let's say I change this to capital P, or here I miss out this dot and I put something like a comma here, or a quote here, and I save it. So if I will do Java C, in that case hello world.java, I will get errors. Now you will see the errors here very clearly, that it is pointing you out that it's here in error public whatever and so on and so forth. Am I making sense? It is case sensitive. So please make sure whatever code you have here, you write it down exactly like how it is. If you don't, if you're not able to read the particular item, please use the zoom button and say it again. So let me recorrect my bad code. I'll save it. You can do the save again from file and save here and close it. I'll do the Java C again. Now you will see that my Java C automatically this time gives no error, and I have the file ready with me with the latest time 1643. You can see the latest file. Now how do we run it? So I'll just mention it here. I'll change it to compile. Now what is compile and all? Don't worry, we'll discuss everything, even single every single word we are going to discuss. So don't worry. So to run the file, type Java space and the file name. So in our case, it is Java space hello world. So if I type Java space hello world and I press enter, you will see it is printing me back what I told you here. You know what is mentioned here. Hello world, I am starting Java. So if you are able to reach here, many congratulations, because this is your first code that you ever wrote, compiled, and ran. So this is for Windows specifically. For Mac users, it's a separate file altogether. Now, just a quick point. In case you write, because this is important for your first assignment, so in case you copy paste this line, so for example, I open it and I just copy paste this line multiple times. Let's say I copy paste this line 3 times. So whatever is there inside these brackets and with the word system.out.println, it is simply going to keep on printing all these. You have to save it. How would you know it is not saved? Because you see uh, the star mark, the asterisk mark here on top. So I'll do a save and the asterisk mark goes. Now if I compile again and run it, you would see it is written writing it 4 times. So if I change something, let's say I write down India is great, or I'll say CSK won IPL, or I would say something like this course is awesome. So if I save it, now very important to save it, see the star mark here, save it. So again, I would go ahead and compile it and run again. I should see the four items that I wrote. Now, why did I show you this example? Because this is exactly what your first assignment is. So if you see your first assignment, you will see the same thing, that you have to write these three things. The solution for it will be given later, as in I'll update it now, and for the next time you can check the solution for this. Okay, so I hope you were able to install Java on your system, JDK, and so on and so forth. And here's the complete notes for you. So I'll just write it down here, completely for Windows user, and it should be good to go. All right, so I'll be keep on updating this notes for you to for reference, so that you can have a look. And and of course you have the comment section in case you feel anything is missing, and I'll be happy to do that.